Are you live on your page, TYO?
We are live. And it is my extraordinary pleasure to be the one to get to introduce you for the first time to the two newest members of the Citizens Review Board for LMPD, Pastor Stachelle Bussey and media maven Antonio Teammate Taylor. Welcome, you guys.
What's up? What's up?
Hey, what's up, y'all? What's up? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sharing this real quick. I'm sorry.
You're welcome to share that. You just share away, and I invite everybody else to do exactly the same thing, because what we really want you to do is get the word out that this actually happened tonight. And I swear it was a result of an extraordinary campaign, a community effort to give everybody a chance to say what they had to say. And geez, the community spoke. That's all I can say. So the vote tonight was 15-10, apparently, for both of you. Stachelle, why don't you go first and tell me how you're feeling?
I feel a little bit of anxiousness. Of course, I had been, I don't know if anybody knew, because I really didn't make it public, but I have been receiving like email threats and just threats like telling me to step down and not, or if I got elected, then I would pay. And so really, all these questions people have been asking, people who don't want to talk about the work that the Louisville people have done. Ultimately, what I just want to say, like, I feel like we all won. The community today won, and not just the protest community, but all across the city of Louisville, people came together, and what was a smear campaign for a few Republicans literally became the boat that made people go click on us, made people go see about us, made people go see who we were, and so I think somebody said like, and there's no bad press, and so ultimately what I think Piagentini and Kramer and Fox, what I think they tried to do, like they wrote in the Leo, it was very, very political, but the community understands the work that we've done. And so many, and our work reaches far beyond just Black people, and so I feel very, very, I'm anxious about that, but I feel very, very empowered and encouraged to serve this community and to make this city better. And I'm ready to get to work. Y'all already know how I am. I'm ready to get to work. But ultimately, I know that the people won, and that's what I feel today. And I hope everybody else feels that.
We're very proud of you, Pastor Stachelle. We're very, very proud of you. And it's been a privilege to get to know you well over this past year. And just being able to hear you speak is so empowering. And I'm so glad that others will have the opportunity now to hear you speak on a regular basis. Mr. Taylor, are you back yet, or are you still trying to share?
No, I'm here. I'm back. I'm engaged. I'm back and engaged. I promise I'm here.
Why didn't you talk to us a little bit about the relief? Stachelle had it maybe a little bit easier than you because she passed out of that committee with a positive recommendation. You didn't have such good luck last week. They gave you a negative recommendation, which really infuriated a lot of us who know you well.
And you know what? That's fine. But I want to lead with this, if you don't mind, Tyra. I want to lead with the fact that I want you all to know that I love my sister Stachelle. And I want people to know that, I met Stachelle during this movement, during this struggle. And that is really the best thing about everything that has happened, is that I was able to meet a sister. You know what I'm saying? Like from the point that me and Stachelle met, we have been just joined at the hip in this movement, joined at the hip in love. We always seem to be on the same path, no matter what is going on in this city. Like God just has a purpose for me and Stachelle to do this work together. And I was just hurt on that Tuesday. That's all I can say. I really wasn't worried about myself. I was really hurt that they were doing that to somebody I loved and to my sister. And I just felt like I didn't have any power to stop that. Myself and Stachelle, we didn't know that was coming. Like we had no idea. Matter of fact, me and Stachelle, to be honest, we never even talked about us being nominated. I didn't know she was going to be nominated. She didn't know I was going to be nominated. That was something that we just didn't share. Like I said, I only shared it with Nari, and I didn't share it with anybody else. So this was a situation that we didn't seek this out. So that's why when I was posting on my page, God's plan, that's what I was letting everybody know. I was letting everybody know this wasn't my plan. It wasn't Stachelle's plan. This was God's plan. So, her getting a positive vote going in, that gave me some encouragement, but not really. When I got the negative one, I was like, damn, I'm glad it was me and not her. You know what I'm saying? That was my thought. I just wanted to protect my sister at all costs. But what it did reveal to me, though, on that Tuesday, what was revealed to me is that, and I'm going to be very blunt in what I say, and I feel like my people must hear this. Not just my people, but all people must hear this. If you love Louisville, you must hear this. And I'm not saying anything that people don't know. I'm just reaffirming it from my experience and Stachelle's experience of this whole process. Systematic racism is deeply rooted in metro government. I'm going to say it again. Systematic racism is deeply rooted in metro government. And tonight, what we did is we made our first stand against that racism. And we defeated it tonight. So we won a battle tonight, y'all, but we did not win the war. We got to keep going, y'all. We got to keep going. Like Travis said, I got my t-shirt on, Travis, because we got to keep going because there is work to do. Because what they did to me and Stachelle, they weren't really doing it to us as individuals. They were doing that to a people. And if you look at everything that was voted on tonight, primarily, and I'm not just talking about the vote for me and Stachelle being on the board, but also the anti-doxing ordinance. Both those things are really about people's voices, about silencing people. That's what that's about. So you have people in metro government who are wanting and they're trying everything in their power to silence voices. And we must realize that. Like, we got to realize that, and we got to continue to fight against that. But I just want people to know we won a battle tonight, but the war is not over. We got a war to fight, y'all. And they are trying to silence our voices. They did not want us at the table. We got there. And really what they did is I don't think they understand really by doing what they did to me and Stachelle, they really empowered the community. They show people how to organize. They show people how to strategize. They show people what unity truly does. And another thing that they did, they are giving hope and belief in people who don't normally see it. And that's a dangerous thing to do. That's a dangerous thing to do when you start making people believe in themselves and you got an agenda. That's a dangerous thing to do when you start letting people believe in themselves. So, even though they did this to us, they tried to crucify us, they ended up empowering our people even more. So I'm overjoyed. I'm happy, but I understand, like Stachelle said, it's really time to get to work because I didn't really realize myself, how deeply rooted this racism is, within our metro government, the people who are supposed to be serving us and protecting us. So we got to work, y'all. We got work to do.
So one of the first questions.
Congratulations, Stachelle. Love you.
One of the first questions that I have for you, and we'll go to you first, Stachelle, if you will. The votes that were taken last week were in just a committee. Tonight, Metro Council spoke as a whole. And I know between then and now, a tremendous grassroots campaign sprung from nowhere and caused, I believe, more awareness of the value of having two very different thinkers involved in the Citizens Review Board, because the two of you have a unique perspective in so many ways, not only as just people who are wearing black skin, but who've been out in the protests, who have been working with this population of people who are most profoundly affected by systemic racism and by the LMPD. And so, your first thought on the approach that you will take into this meeting of this Civilian Review Board, what do you want your fellow nominees to know about you and about how you will be basically how you hope to be perceived, I should say, in the first meeting of the Civilian Review Board?
You know, Tara, what I hope that they see is three things, that I'm for three things. I hope they see that I am about liberation, I am about love, and I am absolutely about the city of Louisville. And people have been running that since me and Maxwell did this interview. But the thing is, and I hope the whole city jumps on the campaign, really, it just needs to be a citywide campaign, because the truth of the matter is the things that have been revealed about our city in a year, right? The things that we once you see, you can't unsee. You can ignore, right? But you can't unsee it.
No.
And so, you know, what I want those people to know is that and this is what I said even on the at the government oversight meeting. I was like, there was a group of people who didn't even have faith in this board until they saw two names. And what this means is this is a pivotal point for Louisville right here. Like, you're going to have to get used to this, Louisville, because this is what you're going to see. And you're going to see people who traditionally wouldn't be at these tables. And the truth of the matter is, you know, I've had my own experience with LMPD. You know, I've had my own experience with the police. I have with KSP. I've had my own experiences. But the thing about it is that what do we need to do to create a better Louisville? That's the question. To create a safe neighborhood, a safe Louisville. And whether or not people want to admit it, there is a group who is consistently marginalized, who is disenfranchised, who's under-resourced, who's overshadowed, who's unheard. And I wholeheartedly, confidently agree that those are the people that I get to pastor, and those are the people who deem me pastor, who call me pastor, and those are the people who I speak for. And so I hope that when, you know, they know that I'm bringing that experience to the, you know, that's what I'm bringing to the table. But I'm also bringing the thought of my student Tayon Lee, who a lot of people forgot about when he was driving. I don't know if you remember, Tonio, when Tayon was driving in his orange Charger that he owned, and then he got stopped, got frisked, went through he humiliated him. He was a student at Central High School, and I remember that his mom started this campaign, and nothing happened to they had no reason to stop him. You know, and so those are some of the stories that we have to bring to the table because they are real. Those are some of the things those are some of the experiences. We don't just bring our experiences. We bring the experiences of those that we live next door to. We bring the experiences of our students. We bring the experiences of our families, of our uncles, and of our we bring those experiences of the people who are victims of mass incarceration. Like, those are the experiences that we bring. And even myself, since I got nominated, I've just spent time like educating myself on like what kind of power does the police have. You know, understanding even the protesters, understanding where these charges come from, right? And like, so, you know, so the person who's coming to the table is a person who understands experience, but also is a person who is committed to having a better Louisville. And that's just what it is. It's about Black liberation, right? And when Black people get free, the whole country. I don't understand when people don't get that, right? Like, when Black people get liberated and free for real, this whole country's free. This whole country's free, right? So I'm about liberation, right? And Black people need liberation, but white power and white supremacy need to be liberated from their thoughts too, right? So this is a whole campaign about liberation for real. This is about love for real, right? Because that's what we showed over the year in protest, right? Like, we came together as a community, as messy as it may be. They still are a community, and we showed a sincere care for Louisville. And that's what we're doing. We're fighting for a better city. So that's what I want them to know about me, but also the people that I represent.
I love it. Antonio, when you walk into that first meeting, tell me what you're going to be thinking. You can't tell me how you're going to be feeling, because that's probably something that you're going to have to wait to experience until you actually hit that doorway. But tell me what you're planning in advance and what your thought process is going to be as you approach that very first meeting.
I mean, before I answer that question, and I know I'm always pivoting, all right, but I do want to mention that there is another Black woman that is on this committee and this board that's even though she went through, it's two, yeah.
It's Pastor Barbara.
Pastor Barbara, okay.
And then Jennifer Green.
Jennifer Green. We do not want to overlook them.
Grad, bro.
Right?
It's a grad.
We don't want to overlook those sisters. Okay. We want to also recognize them, even though me and Stachelle were the target. We want to also say that they are us and they come from our same experience, our same struggle. And I want them sisters to know that I love them too. And I'm going to be a brother to them. But not only a brother to them, I'm going to be a brother to that committee, and I'm going to be committed to us doing the work. So my only thought process is that when I walk in that room amongst the other nominees, now confirmed nominees, we got work to do, y'all. Are you all ready to transform a community? Because that's what needs to happen. Louisville needs true change. Like, we have to have it now. It can't wait. And we all have to be on one page that we are committed to getting that change. So that's going to be my only focus, to be honest, is that, and if we can't get true change, I'm sorry, there's no reason for me to even be at that table. There's no reason for me to even be there if we're not going in there to bring about true change.
Well, as I said in a letter that I wrote about this topic, we paid Hilliard Heinz a lot of money to do a top to bottom review.
And they didn't say LMPD was perfect. You know what I'm saying? They didn't say they were doing everything right. They said there were some issues and some problems that needed to be fixed.
Right. And that's why this board is so important. And what I said too was that by having the two of you, particularly the two of you, not discrediting any other nominee, but particularly having the two of you on this board, legitimizes it to a large percentage of the population who are most affected negatively by LMPD. So now tell me what you would say to the folks who actually participated in this grassroots campaign. Talk to me about what you want folks to know about how you will represent them, Antonio, and then we'll jump over to Stachelle.
Well, I just want to, I'm hesitant to throw this name out there because we know how they did the Black Panther Party, right? We know the history of that, right?
Go ahead and educate us.
Okay, so the Black Panther Party was in the community, and they were changing our community. They were transforming our community. They were uplifting our people, and but not only our people. Look at Fred Hampton. He was uniting poor white people. He was uniting the Latino community. He was uniting the Cuban immigrants that was coming over here. He was uniting all people, not just black people. And he was a threat to the FBI. He was a threat. And they systematically assassinated him first and then systematically took out the Black Panther Party, who was making a change in the community and doing what Stachelle spoke about, true revolution for the people. And we have that here in Louisville. So that grassroots organization that you're talking about is called Take the Seat. Yep. And they are responsible for me and Stachelle being where we're at because they helped us control our narrative and be our own storyteller. So much props to them. And I just salute them. Like, seriously, you all, this vote would not be here without them. And it's power in, but I hope by me naming them and giving them their gratitude and giving them their flowers and their respect for all the hard work they did, because they worked hard behind the scenes.
Yes, they
worked. I'm telling you. I hope I have not put a target on their back. I hope I have not put something out, and then because we know what happens. We know what happens. So I'm gonna tell this community, you all better back them up. You better have support for them. You better watch their back. And we got to make sure that our history is not repeated. When you have a group of people that stand up and create real change, we cannot let that happen again. But I want to say thank you to everybody that supported me and Stachelle. And really, it was the whole community though. And and me and Stachelle talked earlier today, and we was like, our people can't take another loss.
Yeah, that's right.
Our people need a win. We knew it. We knew our people needed this win because our people want to have faith in the system. We don't want to not have a faith in the system. We want to have a faith in the system. And this is a huge example of having true representation at the table and our people knowing that they got some people there that truly represents them. Like
I want to call to your attention a comment that Mr. Kyle Gordon just put up, which echoes exactly how I feel. I put the target on my back myself, sir, and I will wear it proudly for you any day.
I know you will, Kyle. I love you. Love you, Kyle.
Yeah. And that was a point that I wanted to make too, is that the people who spoke up for you did it because of our immense respect for you, for what you do, for what you've done with Wave FM, for what you've done with Young Prodigies, for what you've done with your nonprofit work and your extraordinary community activism for many years. You took, almost an hour out of your day to help me with someone who called and said, I'd like some perspective on the Black community about this thing I have in mind. And I said, well, that would involve talking to a Black person.
Powerful.
So I'm so grateful that you did take that time to do that. So, Stachelle, let's hop over to you. Talk to us about what you want the folks that you're representing to hear from you.
Well, the first things first is it's not about organization take the seat. It's about what's next. Right. And I think Maxwell did an incredible series on is still doing an incredible series on what's next. And a lot of people are like, what's next? And really it's to move, to begin to start to move in some of these realms where we're not traditionally represented. And so more than it's not take a seat is not a people. It's literally what we all should be doing so that nobody else has to withstand an hour and 35 minutes of just torture, right? Of a smear campaign. And so I hope everybody was watching, right? I hope everybody was watching and seeing just how they view Black women and Black men who don't think like them. And so that's first things first. Like, we should all be looking at our who is in our district, right? And even the truth of the matter is, y'all, they about to do some rezoning and some redistrict. We need to look at, we got to pay attention to that stuff. And I'm glad a lot of people sat through that Metro Council meeting. We need to sit through more of them because they are talking and they are educating. They're talking and they're educating. In those meetings, you can get educated about the next moves, like what they're doing, like who's doing this, who's doing that. Like, a lot of people don't even know who represents them, who their councilwoman or councilman is. And so, that's just the next move. Like, we all have to be in these next positions. We all have to be, this is just the first step, And so that, first things first. But listen, I think what they didn't know was they was with a person, with a community leader who may represent the Black community, but who is well loved throughout the city. And,
right.
And I cannot begin to tell you all the people who came. When I saw, even Amy, I forget her last name, but so many it was not about a party, right? Because we know it was 3 Democrats that didn't vote for us. But it was not about, this was literally a fight for humanity. And that's what I always say, right? This is what this is about. And so it was a whole city. And I am being very, very clear. It was a whole city. It was a group of pastoral leaders. It was a group of clergy people who ain't it was some grannies and some gangsters. It was some white people, some Black people, some Latinos people. It was so many people who came together to represent and speak up for us, and who organized, and who not just organized, but they mobilized that plan. And I don't even know what the plan was, but all I kept seeing was people posting, call your councilman, email your councilwoman, do these things, stay on the phone, have meetings with. I know so many people had so many teas and coffee, and so it was really a whole city who put us on their shoulders. And that's the city. That, my friend, is a glimpse of Compassionate City. What you saw is what happened to us two tonight was a snapshot of what can happen when people come together. Because ain't no power
like the power of the people. Power of the people don't stop.
And people power pulled us through today, and that's just what it is. And they got on slurs and they called, and now we need to do that with Frankfurt. Frankfurt is killing us. Legislators Like, they are killing us up there. They are trying to break our city apart, man. They are trying to break our city apart because they understand that as much as we are the center for Breonna Taylor, we are going to be the center. And people are watching us to see how we react and how we pivot from this moment. And so what we do will become the model, right, for the whole nation. Right? All eyes on us. 13th largest city in the nation. All eyes on us. And what we do makes a difference. People like me and like what we do makes a difference. And getting at the table is just the
beginning
step, right? And I promise y'all, if I get to that table and they acting like money changers, I'm gonna do exactly what Jesus did.
You gonna flip that motherfucker over.
Well, I can tell you right now that there is something very positive that just came across my feed. Bobby Blevins said, I consider them my voice too. As a gay butch woman, I have had some encounters with white male cops that weren't so lovely. The worst that happened right here in Louisville, got me arrested, totally shouldn't have been. And, you know, as a white gay woman, I can say, too, I feel completely comfortable and extraordinarily empowered by your voices representing me on that board. And more so than many of the other people that were nominated, too, because believe me, after a couple of the council people raked through your social media, I did the same with the other nominees. And I can tell you right now that there was transphobia, there was misogyny, there was strong anti-Trump sentiment, which you would think these folks would be very concerned about, right? So, you know, there were a lot of people whose social media accounts should have been pillaged and were not, but yours were. And that's what's disturbed me the most. It was a very targeted attack that should not have ever happened. And so tonight we have seen the result coming out in a very positive way, that the city has heard, the people have spoken, and by putting pressure on our elected officials, we have once again changed the narrative. And that's what we're here to do.
But this ain't just my seat, Tara. It's my seat first. But then it's Carmen's seats next, and then it's Cheyenne's seats next, and then it's Sarah's seats next, then it's Fixit's seats next, like Antonio's seat is Fixit, then you're like, and then it's D. Then, like, these seats are just not like these. We're just
representation. That's it.
And I can't wait to see Keyshawn sit down on that board someday.
Yes, Keyshawn, yes, the next generation. And that's what this is about. Like, this is so, you know, he can know and say, you know what, I can be at that table. I can be at the table.
That's right.
Holding those who serve me accountable when that needs to be done. This is for our next generation. They need to have something to believe in. They need to have faith that they can be game changers. So that's what this is about. It's like Stachelle was saying, and I told you all the other day, this is not about being on a committee. It's not. This is about serving your people. That's what we are here to do. That is our purpose. Me and Stachelle, we are here to serve people. But it ain't just me and Stachelle, it's all of us.
All of us.
That's what God put us on this earth for. God put us on this earth to love and care for one another. That's what makes us human.
And a lot of people
makes us human.
And a lot of people don't talk about so many of my white friends and allies and co-conspirators who have become targets.
I call them co-conspirators. That's what I call them.
That's what they are, co-conspirators.
I don't need an ally. I need a co-conspirator.
Right.
Who's going to hide me? That's what I want.
Yeah, but
who's going to hide me?
So many of them have came under attack, like even standing up for us too. Yeah. So many of them over this year have came under attack. I know people who was ex from their family, who was who was out
like, from their jobs.
Yeah, and who were targeted and lost their jobs.
They still can't go back.
They still have charges, right? We are fighting for that stuff, right? Like this fight continues because, like, so many people who are a part of this fight, and like that's what's scary. And Antonio said it again. It's about Fred Hampton. Like, that's what's scary when you can literally start bringing people of all different things together. That is the biggest threat to white supremacy and white power, right? And that's not no play on, like, I don't want nobody to take my words and twist them. Like I'm trying to say, no. I got some white people who I absolutely love. Y'all know I love them. Yeah. But like, the truth of the matter is that it's time out for those kind of systems, because they've never worked for poor people. They've never worked for disenfranchised. They never work. In fact, they keep us marginalized. It's never worked for us. And all we want people to do, we're not asking for more. We're just saying, give us enough to make it fair, right? Like liberation, you know. And so it's about all the co-conspirators and so many people who were literally just came on. Like, I'm fighting for y'all too. I'm saying y'all because like Riot and Tyra and Jay, like all the people, like I'm fighting for y'all too, man. The times, you know, watching y'all lives and y'all were being targeted, watching Jason Downey get slammed on the ground, watching so many people, watching
Shay getting tackled. Yeah.
The one thing I cannot get out of my head, like I don't even remember, it's the day that we got the decision. It was D-Day, and we walked to Bardstown Road and got met with that kind of aggressiveness. And Antonio barely made it out. He don't even know I got the video. The dude is like, he's trying to be like, hold up. He's trying to stop it all. Right, he's trying to stop it all. He's walking through the line, like he's zigzagging in and out the line. And then I saw blood that day, like when one of our white co-conspirators got slammed on his head, like blood was like
everywhere. Yeah.
Those are the things, man. I'm like, this is like, that's my movement community. That's my movement family. Like, that's the movement church right there. And so like those are like, that's near and dear like to my heart. And so, you know, it's about us. Right, it's a whole lot of people who understand that once we liberate ourselves from these systems, that we just gonna have a better city, and a better city, community by community. It's a better city, right? Chickasaw, and then Russell, and then Shawnee, and then Portland city. Community by community, we create a better city. From Shavley, from the hood to the holler, as Charles Booker would say, from Shavley to the East End, from Prospect to Portland. We got to have a better city. We got to have equal policing. We got to have accountability in these governmental systems. And even the people who didn't vote for me, I'm fighting for them too.
We know that.
So like, it's just what it is. You know, I'm done. I didn't talk too much already.
No, you're great. That's why you're here. And that's exactly why we wanted to have this little debrief, this little depressurization session for all of us. Because, you know, last night when we were meeting with Antonio, when the 502s got together and had a conversation, a dinner, and a live stream, one of the things that, you know, that somebody said as we were walking out is, we never knew this city could be so dark. We are in such a dark time. And this, to me, brings light. And this decision and the amplification of your voices on the Citizens Review Board brings light. Because I know the quality of people the two of you are. I know what kind of a man Antonio is. I know what kind of a pastor you are, Stachelle. And, you know, I know that you guys have consistently spoken the truth, and you've consistently provided someone to follow. And that's what we need. I mean, we are such a sheep-like people. And for real leaders to emerge is a blessing, and it's a gift. Especially in this stressful time of COVID, of civil unrest, of unemployment, of depression and anxiety, to have someone who can say, I'm here for you, I'm speaking on your behalf, tell me what you need me to say, tell me how you need to best represent you, and then I will make the decision that you've given me power to do so by being elected, being appointed, whatever. So here's my next question.
And before you, I know you're talking about the light, but I gotta say this real quick.
Go for it.
While we having this celebration and you talk about the light, I just want people to understand something. We can never forget what they tried to do. We can never forget that. And we must hold them accountable for what they did. We must. So in that, I'm just saying we have to participate in the process. And I know a lot of people say, I don't like politics. I don't believe in politics. I don't believe in the voting system. I'm not asking you to. I'm just asking because I'm the same way. All those systems, they don't work for us. But all I'm asking you all to do, we got to serve our people, y'all. We got to serve our people. We got to represent our people. We have to. There are certain spaces that we have to be in if we want real change. And everybody has a role for that. I've said from the beginning of this, I've said I've been out on the front line, protesting, live streaming, seeing what the root of the problem is. I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand, seen my people oppressed, seen what Congressman John Lewis went through on that bridge. We went through that. But there is a time like John Lewis, Congressman John Lewis, rest his soul, there is a time like him that we must transition. And that's the process that me and Stachelle are in right now. We're congressmen in the legacy of Congressman John Lewis. We are transitioning to another role.
That's right.
And that's what he did. When he went to Congress, he understood that there is a legislative process that I must be a part of because my people need change. They need, and it's urgent that my people be put in the right place and be represented. So we cannot forget what they tried to do to us. We have to hold them accountable, and we have to continue because there's some more boards that people need to be on.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? There are some elected offices that some of us need to be holding right now, and it can't wait. We have to do it now, you all. We have to do it now. So me and Stachelle are just an example of enacting that power that we have. And I'm just so proud that this community, the people, and when I say the people, we are not talking about just black people, y'all. We are talking about the people who love this city and want to see this city become the compassionate city that it can be, like Stachelle said earlier. That's who we're talking about. The people who want to see us be great and be an example for this country of what true compassion and love looks like, what true police reform looks like, what true engaging the community looks like, and us coming together for the betterment of our kids. That's what
Amanda Langford just said, in the streets and in the seats.
Yeah,
and that's
in the seats. Yeah, we got to be in both. We have to be in both spaces. So, I mean, me and Stachelle, we are just here as an example. We're here to inspire, but most of all, you know, we are here for purpose. This is God's plan. This is God's plan, and what God has set forth, can't no man disrupt that. No man. I don't know if I got the scripture wrong, Stachelle. Did I get it right? I'm trying, but I know it's something like that. For real.
As long as you don't throw a motherfucker in there, Antonio.
Yeah. Hey, we can, though. We can. Hey, you ain't going to hell over a cuss word. You just ain't. You ain't going, are you, Stachelle? You ain't going to hell over no cuss word. Now, you will go to hell for not loving your brother, your sister.
That's right.
You will go to hell for that. So that's why I'm saying we have to hold our elected officials accountable. And also, we have to hold ourselves accountable that we're going to get in those spaces to where we can help the people we love.
That's right. So you guys, I hate to break it to you, but I just saw wave 3 weather warning come over that a tornado warning has been issued. I don't know for what area yet, but considering the destruction that was done in Birmingham last night, I'm going to suggest that everybody turn on their weather radios and tune into local media to keep an eye on this system tonight. It's a strong one. There are going to be about 50-mile-an-hour winds, heavy gusts, hail, the possibility of an isolated tornado as well. And some people were killed in Alabama last night. So we're going to keep those families in our thoughts. But I'm going to cut it short for tonight. And thank you guys so much for taking the time to, it's in Grayson County right now. So we're okay on the tornado warning. But thank you for taking the time to debrief with us, to give us a chance to celebrate with you. Maxwell Reinhardt, thank you so much for co-streaming tonight.
Guys, I just want to say that I'm so proud of y'all. I'm so proud of the people. I can't think of 2 more deserving individuals. And I can't wait to see what we get done.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, Charles, do I get to say the closing words, or you gonna say the closing words?
You're the pastor.
Listen, man, I just want to say again, like, I'm here to serve the people, whatever role I'm in, whether I'm driving the Hope Bus, whatever I'm doing, whether I'm sitting at, on the accountability review, whatever it is, I'm just here to serve the people. But all of these positions are servant leader positions. It should serve you. Look and see who your council people are. Are they serving you? Look at these laws that are passing in Frankfurt, like you did for us. Get on the phones and call Frankfurt, call your state rep, call the people who are representing you. But literally, guys, listen, it's been a ride, but the ride just started. So thank you for riding on the whole bus. But now we about to venture somewhere else. But always remember, if you see nothing else, and if you know nothing else, this is about 3 things. It is about liberation. It is about love, and it is absolutely about the city of Louisville. Hey, y'all, see y'all Easter.
Stachelle. You see this right here, Stachelle?
The greatest.
You see Sonny Liston right there on the mat, right? What does that represent, though? See, that's we put him on the mat tonight. That he represents hate. He represents white supremacy. He represents blatant racism.
Man.
Keep naming some stuff that he represents right here, laying on this mat. And we standing over.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Breeway. Thank you, movement community.
Yes.
You already know.
We're going to have to call him Pastor Antonio because he got the last word.
Man.
Liberation, love, and Louisville, baby.
You guys have a safe night. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank y'all.
All right.